following our first lead and we get ourselves caught in a laser net. All in a day's work, right?
Smart Alex had a point, but I wasn't gonna let him have the satisfaction of knowing so. There was one good thing about spending hours stuck in a laser net. You got time to think. Who is this guy? Who killed him? And what kind of surveillance was he doing right across from my apartment? And what's in the metal canister? Have 7 years really passed without me remembering it? Is it related to my head injury or the injection mark on my arm?
He dead?
Well, I think you missed a hell of a party.
Party?
Yeah, you're here in time for the laser show.
I wouldn't do that. I was here to meet Carlos Maldonado. Is that you? Or him?
Look, I just stumbled onto this little nightmare, and I need to find out who this guy was and what he was doing. I'm a PI, and I assume this guy is Maldonado. My name's Murphy. Who are you?
Mason said Maldonado was a PI. Were you working with Mason too?
I'll be honest. I don't know if I was working for Mason or not. Actually, I'm having severe memory problems here, so anything you can tell me about Maldonado or Mason or what's in the cryo chamber here would be greatly appreciated.
I think I set off an alarm when I came in here. I don't usually do this kind of thing. I was just trying to help Mason. He said, come in here, find the PI, get the cryo chamber, and keep it safe.
Hey, I found that first.
Slow learner. You have to find Mason. I think he's in big trouble with bad people. I don't know why. He's a neurologist, for God's sake. But you have to promise me that if I let you go, you won't come after me. You'll find Mason.
Oh, I promise. My fingers are so frozen I can't cross them.
If your memory problems are part of all this, Mason is the only one who can help you. So you need to find him and bring him back safe just as much as I do. I'll be in contact soon.
Man, those cops are getting close, but I don't want to leave this place without a clue. I better hurry up and find something before they get here. Well, that might come in handy.
Strictly speaking, I would never encourage anyone to break the law, but those sirens are getting awfully close, and a life sentence for a machine can last a very long time. So move!
This equipment is surveying several different locations, including my office. Someone knows what I've been up to. Not even one crate of mixers. This guy was hardcore. As I try to make my great escape down the ladder, I find two officials waiting to greet me. Hello, boys.
Well, if it isn't Tex Murphy, what were you doing in there?
Well, it's a little hard to
Oh, you know the drill.
I was really trying to get my hands on that surveillance equipment. Maybe I could see exactly what happened to me. Now the only way I'll find it is if New San Francisco's finest decides to play ball with me. I don't know why they'd start now, but I'd better polish up on the old Murphy charm.
Whether you're a mutant or a normal, San Francisco is our home. Be a part of the solution to crime. If you see something suspicious, please report it to the SFPD immediately.
Make it quick, Murphy. I got about 1 million things to do. And wasting time on you ain't one of them.
Didn't take you long to get in trouble, did it? You here to turn yourself in?
Malden. Not that I'm complaining.
In case you didn't get the memo, I head up the department now. And things aren't as loosey-goosey as they were under Malden.
Well, I hope you're more helpful than he used to be. Look, I know this is gonna sound pretty crazy, but hear me out. This morning, I wake up with a massive head injury and an injection mark on my arm. No idea how I got either one of it. Then I talk to a few people, I find out I can't remember anything over the last 7 years.
You're right, it does sound crazy. But go on.
Thing of it is, my last memory is of me and my lady friend getting shot.
Your lady friend, that was, Chelsea Bando?
Yeah. How do you know that?
Well, I know your burned-out speeder was found a few weeks later with Miss Bando's DNA inside of it.
God. It is true. Chelsea's dead?
We closed the case. Though a few of us thought something didn't feel quite right about it.
What do you mean?
Well, the scene was too staged. But I'm not saying Chelsea isn't dead. The last time anyone saw her was with you at the Golden Pagoda.
What are you saying? I was a suspect?
You were, in fact. I'd have to look at the case. You were cleared at some point.
Can I look at the case files?
Now, you know you can't, so don't even ask. Look, Murphy, I feel for you. But it was a long time ago. Chelsea was pronounced legally dead, and there's no evidence to believe otherwise. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Did you ever catch the guy who shot us?
No arrest. Somebody high up on the chain locked that case down and threw away the key. Even if I wanted to see the file, I'd have to pull some strings.
What can you do to help me out here? I mean, until I see something or get some information, I'm just not going to be able to believe that Chelsea's gone.
I'm sorry, Murphy, I really am. If you can find me some new clues on the case, I'll do what I can to get it reopened. And that's the best I can do for you. Good luck.
No. I don't believe it. My gut tells me she's still alive. But I'll find out one way or the other. So why is it you think I came down here to turn myself in?
Well, we just found you at a crime scene with a dead body. That dead body happens to be Carlos Maldonado, a PI working the same neighborhood as you. Is that your way of intimidating the competition?
Well, lucky for me and Carlos, there's enough crime on Chandler Avenue to go around for 2 PIs. You boys do such a bang-up job down there.
Not true. Since I took over, mutant neighborhoods get the same attention as the norms.
Well, I'll be sure to tell Carlos's mother, if he had one.
I was just reviewing your file when you came in.
Is that a lot? Because it looks like a lot.
August 2047. Beek Nariz, NSFPD informant. Beaten and hospitalized after providing information about Tex Murphy. Nariz refuses to identify his assailant. No charges ever filed. November 2048. Surveillance video shows suspected extortionist Jen Lee leaving the Golden Pagoda with Tex Murphy, never to be seen again. The case remains unsolved. Shall I go on? In the past few years, you've gained quite a reputation for yourself. You've got New San Francisco's criminal underbelly running scared.
Well, I find that hard to believe, but it's nice of you to say.
We arrest criminals so they can be tried in a court of law. We don't just kill them, and I won't tolerate vigilantism. If you didn't kill Maldonado, what were you doing there?
I just found out he was spying on me. I followed the trail and saw that Maldonado had surveillance equipment aimed at my office. I want to find out what he recorded.
Who cares what he recorded? If you're such an upstanding citizen, you've got nothing to hide, right?
Look, I got jumped last night. I've got no idea who did it. I think there might be something on the surveillance tape, and if you can tell me what happened, I think I can help you on this case. Deal?
I rarely make deals, and I don't need to make one with our only person of interest. Any more questions? I have no evidence of an abduction, just a dead body and only one person of interest. It might be in your best interest if you could find out what happened. I'm not allowed to let you see it. I know Maldonado was a dirtbag, but unless it's in self-defense, killing somebody, even a dirtbag, is a crime and will be prosecuted. She's an investigative reporter at the Bay City Mirror, one of the less obnoxious ones. As far as the coroner and the commissioner were concerned, finding Chelsea's remains in your speeder were enough to pronounce her legally dead. That whole neighborhood seems to attract more than its fair share of trouble. I'm not sure what to think of you, Murphy.
That encrypted memory stick probably has some useful information on it.
Oh, great advice. If you could help me break it, then I'd be impressed. Guess I'll have to see if anyone else on the street can break it for me.
Phone message waiting. Phone message waiting. Phone message.
This message is for Mr. Tex Murphy. Storm clouds are brewing. Are you with the White Russians or against us? A White Guard member is close. Prove your loyalty and we will reveal the truth.
What the heck was that? There must be another Tex Murphy in the phone book. Nice to meet you, Maldonado. I'll need to find a computer whiz to break the encryption on this memory stick. It's open. Rook's the little gremlin who runs the pawn shop. I've heard that his hard shell is hiding a heart of gold, but if it was, he'd cut it out himself with a rusty soup can lid.
Murphy! Here, let me look at you. Louis told me something terrible has happened. I've been worried sick.
If you try and hug me, I swear, I'll scream like a little girl.
Oh, Lord. Please don't tell me that lump on your head has turned you back into the pathetic, pestering PI I used to know. This is a nightmare.
Now that's the Rook I know. For a minute, I thought you'd started carrying a song in your heart.
It's temporary, though, right? A side effect? Please tell me you'll be changing back.
Well, one of these nights, you're going to get visited by 3 ghosts, and it's going to be very scary for you, but then we're going to have turkey and everything's going to be great.
Look, Murphy, I'll grant you have some detective skills, but it was all relentless, annoying banter and endless questions to me. Imagine my surprise when, over the past few years, you turned into someone I could actually tolerate.
So are you saying that you and I were buddy-buddy? What kind of a jackass did I turn into?
Well, you cut out all the chit-chat and became a no-nonsense customer who pays in cash. You always seem to have plenty of cash.
Oh, I get it. All of a sudden, I get some dough, and suddenly we're best friends. So how'd I come up with so much cash?
Well, how should I know? If I'd asked you that 2 days ago, you would have punched me in the face.
Well, I'd be more than happy to do it now, if it'd help.
Oh, very funny. I'll admit, Murphy, you do have a certain charm. It makes my skin crawl.
Well, if your skin crawls anymore, you're not going to have a face. So why don't you tell me what me and my charm have been buying around here, and then I'll get out of here.
All my transactions are done in strictest confidence. That hasn't changed.
Hello. The new text and the old text, they're technically the same. Cough it up.
Fine. Though I don't know anything that could possibly explain what's happened to you. Believe me, I'd tell you if I did. Now I suppose this is where you ask if I mind answering a few questions, but this is not for old time's sake. I heard a commotion and saw a crazed man running willy-nilly down the street and two other men in pursuit. I was hoping they would tear that flop house down, and they would have too if it weren't for that meddling Clint. Louis' niece is an absolute delight. What she sees in you is an absolute mystery. Years ago, after Chelsea disappeared, you came to me looking for leads to some valuable items, among them a lost Fabergé egg. You left the street for a long time. When you returned to Chandler Avenue, you seemed like a different person, darker, more dangerous. Maldonado? He puts the P.I. in pig. I heard you two had something of a rivalry going on. What is that? That's the man you think was abducted? The one I saw being chased down the street? I never heard his name before you told me. I understand you have a thing for holograms. Maybe she's just your type. I knew she'd get nothing but trouble being with you. I'm sure you know much more about that than I. Some say you know exactly what happened. I went there once, never again. What with that herbal tea and incense, it's a veritable gas chamber. Oof. Such an upbeat, chipper little man. Utterly obnoxious. A prince among men. Makes me wish I could still eat solid food. Why would I know anything about that? If the police confiscated it, I suggest you talk to the police about it. Next question. You became a sullen, short-tempered bully, and I miss that desperately.
Now that Rooks is open, I'll bet his back gate's open too. Yeah, I used to come back here and shoot hoops until I threw my back out.
10 seconds left. Down by 1. Murphy has the ball. He fakes. He drives. It's a 360. He's fouled.
Or was it my front? Lord knows what I could do with an anvil, but it might be useful. It's Rook's Hydropod Garden. Whenever I see this, I think of Gordon Fitzpatrick from my Pandora case.
I've got anti-hydrogen pods on board, and I've got to get us as far away from Earth as possible.
Pods?
Pods. Anti-hydrogen pods.
He wasn't from around here, or even from this solar system. I didn't know there was that much polyester left in the world. As I ring the bell, I expect Nilo, but another familiar face pops up from behind the counter. It's Clint. Looks like he's dabbled in some home plastic surgery to cover his empty eye socket. It's amazing what you can do with a tire patch, spray paint, and crazy glue.
Ah, Mr. Murphy, will you be needing some housekeeping done? I can't remember the last time we saw you around here.
Clint? You work here now?
Oh, I guess you wouldn't remember. I heard about your blackout. I used to have those, but they were more brownouts, you know, my old chocolate addiction.
So, where is Nilo? You haven't had to resort to working for that scumbag, have you?
Nilo? Man, I haven't heard that name in years. Not since I bought this place from him. The city was gonna condemn it, but Nilo didn't feel like fixing it up, so he sold it real cheap.
Where did Nilo end up?
You mean Nellie? He got a sex change. Yeah, I don't know. He tried to pass himself off as his long-lost twin sister for a while, but that didn't fly.
Well, you've come a long way, Clint. From living in a dumpster to owning your own dump.
But on the bright side, we've exterminated most of the roaches and reinforced the foundation after the big quake last year. And finally got real fire extinguishers, so no more painted-on safety features. We're up to a 3-star cubic zirconia rating in the Mutant Leisure blog spot now.
So how did you afford all of this? I mean, didn't you normally eat up all your profits at the chocolate stand?
It's mostly thanks to you, my #1 tenant. You pay up front and I always throw in a little extra to make sure I keep an extra eye on your place.
So I'm not behind on my rent? Maybe I should get amnesia more often.
You're paid through the end of the year, just like every year. You're hardly ever here these days, but hey, let me get my nose out of your business. That sounded disgusting. Let's change the subject. What can I do for you? You keep being my best tenant, and I'll be your biggest fan. Deal? The cops came by to ask me about that, but I wasn't here at the time. This may not be much, but it's mine, and I love it. Nice guy, but he's got some screws loose. Dumbest name ever for a shop. Just get the holes patched before you move out, or I will keep your security deposit. Look, I know I used to joke with you about Chelsea being in love with me, but that was just my jealousy talking. That's Louis' niece, right? Tall, brunette. Oh. I've got to steer clear of his diner. Too many chocolate memories. Look, I've had my own problems, as you know. I was in a kind of a dark place 7 years ago. Dark, bitter, sometimes nuts, raisins, God help me, marshmallows. Nice girl for circuits and chips. We don't need to talk about that, do we? That was a real tragedy. I can't help you with that. I can barely work a toaster. Maldonado? Nothing but trouble. I steer clear of that hombre. Maldonado was spying on you? Are you sure it was you? That little gremlin's never forgiven me for stealing his newspapers and using them for blankets. Me? I'm just living the dream. One chocolate-free day at a time.
Holly must be out on strike. I'd better come back later to talk to her.